Two, 1 2 3 1 2 3. I turned the lights off today because I got kind of a headache and I'm feeling a little weird. So rather than skip this stream or even shutting off the camera altogether, I thought let's draw in the dark. So luckily there's enough light coming off the pad itself, so you'll be able to see that. No problemo. It's me. You'll have a little tougher time making out, but that's fine. Nah, nobody comes here to look at my big dumb face anyway, or my beautiful 5 head. Welcome back to the stream, or welcome if you're here for the first time. I'm doing a quick little time lapse of what I sketched last time I streamed, which is a couple days ago. I have finished this little doodle, and I'm ready to move on to the next. As I was just kind of cruising around the interwebs today, I had a thought. A thought came to mind. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, but I want to try. So we're gonna try to figure this out together. And you know what? Let's see if I can do it with zero reference. I'll show you guys my screen so you can see. I've got ArtStation up. This is my main computer screen. I might go to Pinterest at some point later, but not quite yet. So let's see. Yeah, let's see what I can come up with. All right, here. Look, I just went to my printer. I just went to my Pinterest. Nothing's really tickling my fancy, so we're doing it. What was fun about this piece is I wanted to try to use as few layers as possible. A background layer, an inks layer, a layer for texture, a layer for shadows. And that's it, man. Really straightforward. Nothing too fancy, no kinds of crazy rendering, just straightforward. All right, so should I tell you guys the concept I had? Nah, I'll keep it a surprise. So let's first start off by... Now, what good artists do is they generally plan out their concept. What I tend to do is I tend to just jump in just right out of the gate and just start doodling shit. I'm going to pretend I'm an artist who knows what they're doing today. So instead of taking that route, we're going to try to block out our composition. So this sloppy little box here is going to act like a guide for our piece. Hello, Pink. How are you? Here's a trick a friend taught me. Here's some rule of thirds action going for you. And then here's the general shape of the Fibonacci sequence, I believe. I might have mispronounced that because, you know, I'm uneducated. But yes. The golden ratio, if you will. You broke a tooth on a Skittle. Skittles aren't that hard, though. What's wrong with your bones? Or teeth? Okay, so yeah, this is always a nice place. But also, you can flip this, by the way. You know, if you want to have at it that way, that works too. But also, you know, the rule of thirds is very similar. I think my teeth are weak from being pregnant. Fuck, weak teeth. Yeah, you had that parasite on you, just leaching off your nutrients. Okay, let's see. I think right now I'm just kind of doing some very loose, I don't even want to call it gestural. You know, I don't even want to call it gestural. I'm doing some blocking. Because I have this concept in my head. But I wonder if it'll translate. I know this looks like gibberish. It's a thing. Wow. Alright, so being pregnant makes your teeth shitty. Because the baby sucks your body's everything away. Well, that's a nightmare. I guess that's the price you pay, though, for creating life. How many kids is too many kids? I feel like 3 is the normal, like, the highest level of normal. You know, like if somebody's like, I've got 3 kids, you're like, oh wow, you really like to fuck and reproduce. But like once somebody's like, I've got 4 kids, 5 kids, you're like, oh, whoa, what are you, Mormon? Yeah, what are you, what's wrong with you? I have 3 anymore, I'd say I'd lose my shit. I'm getting my tubes tied. Awesome. Hey, KG. KG, when are you having kids? KG, when are there going to be baby KGs running around? That's the last thing the world needs. Maybe it's just what the world needs. Some baby cages, and then you take the babies off grid. You create some unincorporated territory somewhere. Set up your own school. Become a school marm. Eventually have the feds come by. Wondering what the hell's going on. You guys hear about Elon Musk? Dude's apparently trying to buy Twitter. Get shot by the ATF. Yeah, why not? You call it the KG compound. And then I don't know much about female cult leaders, but I know the male ones, you gotta have multiple spouses. So you gotta be banging a lot of your members. KG. It's mandatory. Is it a hostile takeover? I don't know shit about business. I truly don't. So I don't know what makes a takeover hostile or non-hostile. Yeah, the most I've ever watched is I watched, watching Succession. That's what they were saying. I'll tell you, the highlight of my day has been watching some of the absolute lunatics on the platform react to that news. It's pretty hostile. But what makes it hostile? I thought it was funny that they wanted him on the board to prevent him from outright buying it. Yes. And that clearly did not work. It clearly had the exact opposite intent. Not negotiated, just straight out trying to buy all the shares. The term hostile takeover refers to the acquisition of one company by another corporation against the wishes of the former. The company being acquired in a hostile takeover is called the target company, while the one executing the takeover is called the acquirer. Well, I mean, that's it, right? That's exactly what seems to have happened, or seems to be happening. They had no interest in selling to him, but he has every interest of buying. If he can gain majority shares, he can force them to sell. If he was on the board, he would be limited to 14%, but now he is no longer limited. Yeah, that part I knew. That part I had heard about. You think he'll actually do it? You think he'll actually be able to pull it off? And does anybody care if Elon Musk is able to pull it off? Well, he stated they're butthurt that he didn't announce he was buying shares the past couple months, so it didn't raise the price. Right, because whenever he announces he's going to buy something, it fucks with the market. Yeah, whenever he's like, get ready, I'm going to buy this stuff. But then, you know, again, of course he didn't announce. He knows what that does. And if he always had intentions to buy, it would only just make it that much harder for him to pick it up. It depends if he can push for a new CEO at the shareholders meeting. So, wait, can he have the shareholders vote out a CEO? Depending on the bylaws, they can vote out the board. Damn. Elon Musk, man. What a goddamn wild card. Listen, at the end of the day, personally, I don't give a fuck about Twitter. If he were to buy it and then burn it to the ground, I think the world might actually be a better place for it. But that'd be a ridiculous business move, so there's no way he's doing that. So he doesn't own... So he doesn't have to own 51%, but if he can convince enough people they can combine shares to take over, it's more valuable as a political tool than just burn it down. I do think it's complete bullshit how Twitter decides to implement its terms of service in regards who can say and do what, who can and can't do and say whatever in regards to their rules. It's all too vague, like many Silicon Valley media companies. It's all very shady. You know, left specifically vague so that they can target whomever they like. Punish some while not punishing others. Well, but the other thing is, Elon Musk is just some billionaire. He's some billionaire troll. So listen, just because I hate Twitter doesn't mean that I love Elon Musk, man. I'm not about to start simping for some, 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Yeah, there's no way he's going to run that. No way he's going to run it on his own. Listen. Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink. Not to mention all of the other various projects he's got his hands in. Stuff that we don't know about. Also all the infrastructure crap that he was working on too. Yeah, dude's got a full plate. I wonder, man. I wonder why he decided to impregnate Grimes, of all people. Of all the ladies that Elon Musk could have implanted his seed inside, why that one? I wonder if she's got a really high IQ. I wonder if he made her take an IQ test. Maybe. You guys been hearing about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case? Apparently it's been a mixed bag. And that's just from like headlines I've been seeing in like Twitter posts or social media posts. From what I've seen, they're both looking real shitty. Like they're no heroes in this case. Apparently they're both just absolutely atrocious to each other. But the crux of it is, it's not how shitty the two of them were. It's about the defamation. Their therapist said they were doing it to each other, right? Yeah. I think their therapist said, they were assaulting each other? Is that what it was? So apparently Amber spat. Oh yeah, I did. Now that's the other part of it that I saw as well. Amber Heard apparently treated her personal assistant like a piece of shit. Just treated her like human garbage. Yeah, I heard a clip from the personal assistant on the stand, and Amber Heard's former personal assistant said that Amber Heard would call her assistant up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, from 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning, drunk, coked out, on ecstasy, on opioids, just on a combination of her mental medication as well as alcohol. So she'd call under the influence and she'd start screaming at her, or like I said, or just being unintelligible. Apparently, according to this personal assistant, Amber Heard's own mother was terrified of her because she was so belligerent. Yeah, so like I said, man, they're both looking pretty fucking awful here. But the real question is, what about the defamation? Did he do specifically the things that she accused him of doing? Yeah, apparently Depp said to his friend, he hopes her dead ass, he hopes she's dead in somebody's trunk somewhere. He said that to one of his friends when they were going through the divorce. Now that's, I took that as, listen, man, he's going through a divorce. She was a nightmare. He's talking shit. But I think, her lawyers are going to try to spin that into, he's this violent dude. What I liked is that they had one of the executives running Warner Brothers, one of the studio executives, Walter Hamada. He took the stand and was like, yeah, we were going to get rid of her. He was like, yeah, we were going to, he didn't say this specifically, but it was pretty much confirmed that they were in talks because it was Jason Momoa's film and Amber Heard and him don't have any chemistry. They were fully prepared to have Emilia Clarke, Khaleesi, join the replace Amber Heard as Mira. Which I think would have been dope. But as we know, never happened. Never happened. Not to say it won't happen. They've re-edited movies. They've reshot films. There have been a couple instances where, first off, look at Justice League, right? They refilmed a bunch of stuff for the directorial release. Paid a few million to do it. There was that movie that Kevin Spacey was in, pre him being outed, and they went in, they recast, they cast a different actor, and they refilmed the whole thing. And then also, let us not forget, Back to the Future. They filmed, I think, 2/3 of the movie with the actor Eric Stoltz as Marty, and apparently it was terrible because he just got done doing the I think he did whatever that movie is where he's the guy who's got like elephantitis or whatever, or he's got that disease that makes his, he's the guy with the big head, big old giant deformed head. He looked like Quasimodo. But like in the 80s, what's his face? Eric Stoltz was that dude. He was like a really, dramatic actor. He was a thespian. So he who was Marty McFly for the longest time. You could actually look it up online, right? Eric Stoltz, Marty McFly, and you'll see a bunch of photos of him throughout the entire film as Marty McFly. And apparently it was so bad. Mask was that movie. Thank you, Rogers. It was so bad they scrapped the whole thing. They scrapped the whole thing and started from day one and refilmed all of his scenes with Michael J. Fox. That's how piss poor it was. I'm just saying. There's some Hollywood precedent for them reshooting a film because it just wasn't working. And if Amber Heard doesn't lose this, her reputation just might be completely just nuked from it. What's up, Remo? How you doing, buddy? What's new with you? I went on today on TikTok. I went on TikTok and Twitter. The only two social media platforms that I use besides this one. And I unfollowed everyone. So if you were a person I was following on any of those platforms, please don't take it personally. I won't take it personally if you unfollow me in return. Lord knows I used to do that all the time out of spite. So I can't turn around and hold it against you. But yeah, this is a kind of as a means for me to kind of detox as I start to creep back onto these platforms and post more content. I'm trying my best not to be sucked in. Because I swear, man, there have definitely been instances where hours of my life just vanished in these platforms. Like a vortex, like a black hole of time and space. Just an abyss. I will say the worst one of those platforms for me currently is TikTok. TikTok, I have to be the most careful because at night I'll turn that goddamn thing on, and man, they have their algorithm. Just it's perfect. Because it'll go from stuff about plants, which I love, to stuff about video games, to art, TikToks, to meme after meme after meme, to stuff about nature. And it's just all the shit that I love to like learn about or check out or laugh at, all there. Their algorithm it's almost sick. It's almost like twisted how good the algorithm is, where it's like, fuck, man, they know exactly what to put in front of you to keep you engaged in their algorithm, like in their platform. It's wild, man. Even showing me stuff that I might not, even showing me stuff that I didn't even think I'd like. I'll give you an example. Today I fire up TikTok. I was taking a shit, as you do, so it's perfect time to watch some TikToks. And sure enough, one of the TikToks I watched is a geologist. And the dude's just like, he went down to a riverbed, picked up a rock that he had a good feeling about, set it on top of a bigger rock, and just took a hammer to it, just cracked that bad boy right open. He's like, let's check out these rocks. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What's he doing? And sure enough, he's like, check out this. And like there was a whole bunch of fossils from various, you know, water creatures, you know, shelled water creatures from who knows how long ago. But it was fascinating. But that's what I mean. I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, whoa, what's in that rock? You know, oh, what's that species from? And then you fall down a rabbit hole. But like, it's different from YouTube in that I've fallen down many a YouTube rabbit hole. But it's something about TikTok that seems more, I don't know, man, just inescapable, or not inescapable. It's more like, it's just like social media crack. Oh, you know what I did? I finally finished Elden Ring last night. Last night I thought to myself, okay, I finished two final very long side quests to cap off like what I would say is the most important ones of the game that I wasn't locked out of. There were one or two that I was completely locked out of because I had progressed the game too far before I knew I was going to be locked out of those games or those side quests. Man, dude, the Elden Ring finale, I'm not going to spoil it, but beautiful. And you know what I decided to do? I decided to actually call in some help. And I hadn't done this on any other bosses besides having my friend Earthbound help me. But besides having Earthbound show up and help, I forgot that one of the coolest parts about Elden Ring is you can summon other players to help you fight bad creatures, or, you know, bad guys, bad, you know, bosses. It's the short duration that gets you. There isn't enough time for you to get bored and shut it off. Well, the other thing is YouTube, it's longer content, and you could very much easily turn off autoplay on YouTube. Turning off autoplay is easy as hell. You just click a button and it's right there. It's always there. It's always an eye shot. You just turn off. What's up? What's up, Tanko? But on TikTok, you can't turn off autoplay on TikTok. Once that bitch is playing, that's it, man. What are you drawing? Just some shit off the top of my fucking head. But yes, so I finished Elden Ring. It took me actually not that long because I had so many levels in the game. So the game, I think it's recommended to finish the game around level 125 to 150, depending on, you know, your build and how comfortable you are with the game. But dude, I finished the game at level 315. That's how over leveled I was. It was awesome. So like, oh, but the bosses are still hard as fuck, by the way. especially the final few bosses. They still, like, it wasn't a one shot. They definitely slapped the shit out of me. And I could have done it by myself, but I would have had to use a mimic, my mimic summons or something to that effect. I would have had to use some kind of ash, whatever the fuck, spirit summons, in order to not die. So I thought to myself, well, if you're gonna be using a spirit summons, just use a real person. You might as well have a hand. So yeah, I was worried. Because Elden Ring, how it works in Elden Ring is you're kind of locked into your level. So because I was so high leveled, I was really worried that there would be nobody as high as I was willing to help. But luckily I was wrong. So after that I did some PvP. I didn't go into New Game Plus because I have no interest in doing New Game Plus. And then I uninstalled the game. So I am now video game less. Okay. Don't mind me. I'm like I said, trying to figure out the pose of this piece, and because I'm not using any references, this always leads to things being a pain in the ass. Hello, KG. Hey, KG, does anyone from Twitch, do they call you by your biological, your government name? Like when you're talking to Nikki-chan, is she like, hey, and then uses your real name? No. Do you think when you go on your your sexy holiday with everybody, do you think people are going to start calling you by your government name while you're there? I think KG's more like a nickname now rather than a screen name. Screen name. Do people still call them screen names? Dude, every now and then on TikTok, I'll pull up the app and it'll be midday. I'll just be cruising around and they'll show you live streams. I mean, I could literally show you guys. Like, they'll show you, they toss in live streams. That's the other thing. They toss in live streams with their other content. So, you know, you might be watching whatever you're into, sea otter videos, and then you'll see a live stream come up of anything, man. At least in my case it's been just about any goddamn thing. But I'll tell you something creepy. Every now and then, the thing that it'll show me is girls who are teenagers, and they say they're like 18, 19, but they fucking do not look it. And it definitely looks like they're filming from high school. And there have been a bunch of times I've been like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, I'll just be like, all right, you know, nature video, plant video. And then it's like, what may be an underage person, like streaming from, like, what the fuck? And then, yo, the thirsty dudes in the chat. She's like, yo, what's good, girl? Yo, where you at? Just like, pop one out is what they'll say. I'm like, yo, someone should be calling the police, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, yo, I think I saw some like lockers behind you. And like, all right, colleges have lockers too, but like, so, yo, I'm like, who's gonna regulate that, right? If, like, you know, if your kid's a teenager and they obviously have a cell phone, because of course they're gonna have a cell phone, like, who's gonna, like, are you gonna be making sure that they didn't get on TikTok and lie about their age to do so? Or are you gonna be the person, like, that, like, monitors, like, what their friends' TikToks are, right? Because even if you are one of the parents that, like, are on your shit and you're like, give me your phone, right? Like, you get your phone when you're out of the house, but, you know, I don't know, man. They're always going to find a way around it. So, yeah, they'll give you their phone, and then who knows, man? Maybe they'll delete the app. Maybe they'll delete the app when they come home and just re-download it during the day, or maybe their friend gave them an old phone. And they set it up, and now they're using the Wi-Fi, or they're using their phone as the phone that connects to the internet, and they've got like a dummy phone, or like I said, maybe they're using. They're gonna figure that shit out, man. And you know, listen, you can only be on top of so much, right? But once those kids are out of the door, you've got no control. You can only hope, and that's, by the way, that's if you're on the ball. And as sure as you know, as we all know, growing up, there are definitely kids, when I was a kid, whose parents didn't give two shits. So, like, man, there were kids I went to school with who were practically feral, man. Parents are always at work, never around, divorced. The parents were living up their lives, going out, getting drinks, bringing dudes over, doing their own goddamn thing. And the kids just did whatever the fuck they wanted, man. So I'm like, yeah, if your kid is friends with a kid like that, you don't think that kid's gonna teach him how to be a fucking thirst trap TikTok thought for fucking God knows what on the internet. Fucking crazy, man. It's crazy to see, dude. Here, I was literally, you know what I was doing right now? I was literally looking through my TikTok. I was looking through my TikTok because I'm like, yo, D. Nicola, have you been liking any thirst trap shit? Because listen, you know me, you know your boy. I've been guilty of liking thirst trap shit in the past, but I've just been scrolling through. I'm like, let me look at these damn likes. So I'm like looking through, and I'm like, is that a thirst trap? And it's like, no. Have a great day, and it's like a maybe you're feeling anxious, right. So then I'm like looking, I'm like, there's got to be one. I'm like, no, that's not a thirst trap. I'm like, where's the fucking? I'm like, one of these insta thoughts would have should have got me. Then I'm like, oh wait, here, this looks like one.
When in reality, most women are dying for you to come up to them.
Cat. So I'm like, all right, that's not it. Then I'm like, oh, this looks thirst trappy. And then look. Water.
Stop, Jackson! You swore!
God, I fucking love that one. I love the fact you swore. It means God knows how many times has that motherfucker done that off camera. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm not... When thirst trap shit shows up on my feed, it is not at all what I've been cultivating. This one's fine.
I'm half Italian and half Jewish, so some people call me a pizza bagel. I'm half African American and half Filipino, so some people call me the N-word.
Anyway. I just figured I'd give you guys a little behind the scenes of the kind of shit that I like on TikTok. Man, what a fun platform. KG, if I pulled up your TikTok and looked at your likes right now, how many manly thirst trap dudes would I see on there? How many hunky studs showing a little bit of dick root would I be seeing? A guy working out of the gym, clearly no underwear on, bulge just nearly bursting through his workout denim. I bet I'd see a ton. Too many to count, probably. You know, instead of her hand on her thigh, I have a better idea for that hand. This will probably mean I'll have to move her. the side there. And if you're wondering what that is, if you're wondering what I've just added, it's a wand. I've added a wand. I've decided to turn her into a magic caster. Hey Skippy, what's up, cutie? Long time no see, my friend. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, everything's a-okay. All is well. Nothing to complain about besides, like, again, my sleep has been screwed up a little bit lately. But aside from my sleep being a little screwed up, which it kind of always is a little screwed up, I've been alright. I'm actually standing up right now on my standing desk, which is, over the last few months I actually have not been utilizing my standing desk as it should have been utilized. What's new with you, Skippy? You and me both. I gotta fix my sleeping schedule. Yeah, well, you know what? I finished Elden Ring, and I was getting obsessive about Elden Ring. And as always, when I find a new obsession, like a person probably suffering with ADHD or on the spectrum, I hyperfixate on it. I actually didn't even know the term hyperfixation until like a handful of years ago. They're like people on the spectrum and also people who suffer with ADHD have the tendency to hyperfixate on something. I'm like, hyper what now? And then I read the description of it and I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, my whole life. My whole goddamn life. Stretching. Man, my body feels achy, you know? Currently, I'm grinding some classwork. Oh, classwork that I've been neglecting, but outside of that, I'm doing well. Did my first stream yesterday night and enjoyed it quite a bit. What did you stream? How long? Where did you stream from? You know, I need some fucking water. Yeah, that's why I need some goddamn water. Streaming pottery, 3.5 hours from the new studio I've been building here at home. Thank you, Skippy, for the hydration reminder. Much appreciated. Skippy, how many points do you have that you're able to just toss away 1,000 points so casually? Whoa, easy there, webcam. This webcam's horny for snake wizard ladies. Just a few K saved up in reserve. Excellent. Do you have, Skip, you got a photograph of your pottery stuff. Not tossing them away, spending them with love for your well-being. No, you're right. I fucking barely have had any water to drink today. Perhaps that's why I'm feeling like a monkey's loose butthole. You know, a monkey who's just been like eating trash left by humans. Living like a goddamn circus monkey. Let me take a couple of pictures of the stuff I did last night and send them in here. Sure. Yes, yes, yes. 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 Do it. Now this part is interesting to do. So it's still pretty rough, and for any of you art nerds who are watching right now, I did my best so far to have the lines drawn. And let me allow you to show you. I didn't say this while I was doing it, but I was attempting to do this. I was attempting to have the lines. Hello. Hey, Kimmy G. What's up? I was attempting to have the lines draw your eye up. So her leg line, her further away leg into the snake, the wand, the arm. You see? Do you see how I'm doing my best to get your eye to do one of these, and I'm doing my best to have the lines take you there, because sometimes, or at least early on when I was sketching, I was so focused on getting the anatomy right. You know how many heads tall, because the body is supposed to be eight heads tall, give or take. So I'm like, all right, let's see. So I'm like, one head, two head, second head goes to the nipple line, third head goes to the belly button, fourth head goes down to the crotch, and then you should be able to take this measurement and then apply it from there to the legs, and it should be about not halfway from there, but you bring this up to the top of the hip, and then you measure it, and the top of the hip to the bottom of the foot should be equidistant to the top of the head to the bottom of the crotch. That's a loose rule of thumb, but I would be so in my own head. Another tip: your character, if you were to put their arm above their head, their arms, in case you're ever wondering about elbow length to elbow to shoulder height, here's a little trick, and I'll show you on my body. If a character is raising their arm up, so just imagine the character, this character in this is raising their arm up right to there. What would that look like? Well, it'd look, just mirror the line. So it'd be about that high. And you're like, is that a little long? Easy way to tell. Use your own arms as reference. Check this out. I'm going to lift my arms up over my head, and my elbows should be just above the top of my head. See? Your character should be able to do this. And if your character can do that, then your elbow and shoulder height are just in the right. And then once you've got that down, well, then your arms make a triangle. And a near equidistant triangle. You can actually see it. Boo, 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 boo. Imagine. So you could actually use that. So that should be about half, right? Triangle. Anyway, I used to be so caught up in getting the proportions right, getting the proportions had to be as best as I could And then after, you know, and then what would end up happening is the pose would be really fucking stiff because I was so focused on the damn anatomy, getting everything to look like a human being should look. I completely forgot about the nature of the kind of illustration that I was doing, which is, it's about shapes, man. It's not that this is a body. This is a body or a two-dimensional representation of a body, but it's also about, you know, what kind of story you're telling. What about the gestural lines? You know, what's going on in the background? You know, and then other stuff, right? We haven't got there yet, but, you know, what about value and tone and adding a faux three-dimensionality to it, your shadows and detailed areas versus non-detailed areas. Are you going to give your readers, when they look at your image, are you going to give their eyes a place to rest, etc., etc., etc.? So no, I just figured I'd point that out to any of you curious art nerds who might be in the chat. All right, I've been drinking a bunch of water, so now I have to pee. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, hello, hello. It's pee-pee time. I'll be right back. Oh, nice. It only took me an hour to do this. Let's see what I could do after I'm done peeing in the next hour. I'm gonna try to kick it up a notch.
ladies.
Hey, Lizzie just subscribed. Thank you for the 20 months, Liz.
Ooh, they're at ISSSS.
Hey now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription. I can't believe it's been so long. Hello, Mealy. Welcome. What have I missed? Hey, Two Oak. Hello, hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very moody. I have a headache, and I'm feeling a little. Like I said, I've been feeling tired all day. And you know what? I just noticed the lady, the Mrs. Mikey D, is feeling nauseous and also kind of sick. And now I'm like, yo, shit. Yo, is this it? Do I finally got it, dude? Did I finally get bitten by the bug? By the panty? The panty finally fucking snatched my ass up? Me? Coco the vid. Is that like a drag queen term? Like Sissy That Walk? Plague 19. Did you get the plague? I might have. I don't know. Plague 19 2022. That's right. It took. Well, listen. If I do have it, I gotta say, listen. Props to me for making it over 2 years without getting it. But I don't know. It might literally just be I'm tired and I eat like shit all the time. And my body is just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, that's much more likely. All right, so we're doing manga pen again today. Hey, South Park said 2035, and I believe them. Wait, what did they say in 2035? There you go. Hey, you got an Imager link, or as I like to pronounce it, Imgur. You got that Imgur link. Ooh, wee. Hubba hubba. Wolf whistle. I'm about to catcall this pottery.
Me so horny.
Yeah, I'm horny for this pottery, baby.
You're horny.
I wouldn't mind dipping my balls in that pottery, right? I wouldn't mind spreading my butt cheeks on that pottery wheel. Man, it's like the man, somebody's watched Ghost too much.
Yeah, it's a gunshot.
Do you play the Ghost theme when you're doing this? You know, the one where they start banging with dirty clay hands? You know, the one where it's like, oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your butt to touch creamy pies.
Sex, Michael.
Those are the lyrics, right? Two Oak. Man, what a... Yeah, the one pottery teacher at Greendale band. From Community. No, these are great, man. How much do you sell these for?
Cream pie.
I buy pots all the time. For my plants. I love a good ceramic pot for my plant.
I'm gonna squirt.
Actually, I found it's more cost effective to buy a non-pottery plant, to just buy a like ceramic like dish or bowl or something that looks like what you've done, and then just drill a hole in the bottle. I bought a special diamond ribbed carving drill bits to specifically drill in ceramic without cracking the ceramic, and I've yet to crack a pot. I'm actually very, very delicate with it, but the plant pots need their drainage holes. So actually the next one I'm going to cut up is actually this. So actually here it's so this is actually a candle, but I noticed it's ceramic. So I'm actually going to drill into this, and I'm going to turn this into a little pot for my plant. Oh, look at ASMR. Butt cheeks. Wet genitals. Patrick Swayze. Somebody posted a tweet that lady said. Somebody posted that tweet that Amaranth posted that she's done a she's out of the she's out of the hoe game. She's hanging up her lingerie and thigh highs. Yeah, she said she's quitting. She's quitting. No more. Yeah, no more. Oh boy, those eyes are crooked. That's a bummer for all the people who have a fetish for silicone titties. Well, I guess she's made enough money, which is crazy.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
Or at least she's made enough money that she's made investments in other things, and is those are lucrative enough that she no longer has to sell her body for money. Which, I mean, I guess that, listen, if that's the goal.
Take my money. Take it.
I've seen a bunch of Amaranth's adult videos, just out of sheer curiosity, because they appear, you know, listen, anything that people sell on OnlyFans always ends up, it always gets stolen and put on free websites. So yeah, just out of curiosity, I'm like, you know, it's kind of like everybody, where there's, you know, a lot of people, they go to a coffee shop, and you've looked at the coffee shop from outside, and you're like, what's all this hubbub about? This looks like regular ass coffee, nothing special. And you're like, all right, you know what? I'm curious. Let me get a taste of this coffee. And the coffee tastes like shit. So yeah, no, I've watched a couple of her videos, not in full and not for a prolonged amount of time, just to see. I wanted to see what all the hype was. Like, what's all this hype? What's this woman doing in order to garner all this, you know, adulation and simps? And for the life of me, I don't know, man. There are so many other very talented, much better looking young ladies who are just out there doing their thing, and it's way better, way more provocative, way more interesting. I mean, she gamed the system pretty well. She did, and I think it's kind of like the I think it's like the Belle Delphine thing, where I think she was just one of the first. She, like, her being one of the first was enough, because sometimes, and I learned this in business, I don't know how or where, but I was reading an article, or it was a TED Talk, it was something like that. Some business person was doing a breakdown of, you know, success in product and marketing. And they basically said, sometimes it doesn't matter if your product is better. It only matters that your product is first. And then your product becomes the default. So maybe it's like, and the examples were like Duracell, Kleenex, Xerox, right? These are words that Google, right? These are words that we use to describe a thing, but that a thing that other brands do or make, but the one that you associate with is generally the one that came first. I don't know if those examples I gave were good examples or bad examples, because I don't know if they were first. But generally speaking, I think it's the fetish that she's Twitch girl, and maybe there's a bit of bias because she was the first. The firstest with the mostest. Right. Exactly. Same thing with the, you know, look at the gamer girl bathwater. Most of us are like, well, that's dumb. That's stupid. But there are a bunch of people who like, oh yeah. Yeah, who knew? You know? Oh, you know? Creating a market that didn't exist before you did it will put you on the map. Would OF be successful? Yes. Yes, it would. Because Melee. It's not just the Twitch streaming ladies that have gained notoriety. It's also the ones that you see on your Instagram feed, on your TikTok feed, on your Twitter feed. It's not just so like, but again, the ones that like they're able to capitalize on their, and I've said this before, on their pre-existing audience. So like, we were talking about this with Eric yesterday. There are a lot of women who go to that only friend site. I got to be careful about saying that word too much, because YouTube monitors speech. And if you say too many no words, like there was one broadcast where we specifically talking about people removing themselves from the planet, people sending themselves to the beyond. I'm trying to be vague as possible, because I used to think that, like, oh man, these YouTubers they're being so sensitive, you know, so hyperbolic. There's no way YouTube polices language like that on their content, but they do. There was one time I was talking about, like I said, people self-removing themselves from the earth, and my God, man, that video, they're like, this live stream cannot be monetized. This live stream contains inappropriate language or something along those lines. Adult language not suited for commercials, essentially. And then yeah, when you get that notification, it basically means YouTube's like, yeah, we're not paying you for this, and also we're not going to spend money for our advertisers to advertise their wares on this video. Anyway, so what we were talking about the other day is women who start OnlyFans thinking that lots of people are going to show up, but nobody ends up showing up. And I said the reason is because, you know, the ladies that I've personally seen that have done very well are women that they already had an audience. And better yet, the women who I think do the best are the ones that had a very large audience. They had a very large audience, and they maybe posted some thirst trap stuff, but it wasn't all thirst trap, and they definitely didn't do anything salacious, but their audience nevertheless wanted to bang them. So yeah, step 1, be an attractive woman.
You're gonna bang.
Step 2, build a community. Step 3, have that community that you built be mostly men, and men who wanted to bang you. And then rake in the money when you create a
Simping isn't bad. Simping is kingship.
You know, OF content. Oh man,
Simp powers initiated.
dude, I want to play you guys a Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh heavens! The simp has fallen in love with the e-girl.
Gilbert Gottfried's
You better pack your bag and move to Sin
roast
City right now.
of Bob Saget. I was watching clips of it the other day. It's still one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever. I mean, I've seen. It was so fucking hilarious. The things he said about Bob Saget. I wish I could play it for you. I literally can't, because I'm telling you, if I play it, like, guaranteed, I'm gonna get in trouble. The things he said. Art by Callie. Just stopping by to say hi. Your art looks amazing. Well, that's very sweet of you. Very, very, very sweet indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do any of you guys care if Elon Musk buys Twitter? We were talking about this earlier, but since we got a different group of people in here, I wanna pick your brains about it. Hey, Art by Callie, what kind of art do you make? Do you have an Instagram you want to share? You can't post a link in here, but if you could post your if you post your @ you just toss that into a Google search. I don't use Twitter, but I don't really care. If he does dumb shit, people find other platform, right? I don't understand the people that are getting like the level of irritation and upset that I'm seeing from people on the internet. It seems wildly disproportionate to what's actually happening. You know how many, dude, you know how many World War II references I've seen today made by people with check marks on Twitter? Dude, man, I can't believe after all these years, that's still what people, that's still, regardless of it being, in my opinion, a gross comparison to make. Tone deaf, wildly insulting to the survivors of that. Again, I've got to be very careful because of YouTube rules. Yeah, despite that, both sides, both left and right, constantly are calling people this and that. It's always, oh, this person is gonna be this, and then they harken back to rhetoric from surrounding World War II. It's like, my God, man, what the hell is wrong with you? Well, I make both digital and traditional, but I make digital art more. I don't have an Insta, but I do have a YouTube. Thank you for asking. What a sweet YouTube viewer. I don't use Twitter because he is against their TOS. I don't use Twitter either, but I feel like people just want something to freak out about, right? If it seems like Elon Musk wants to make Twitter's TOS reflect the freedom of speech in our Constitution, right? First Amendment. Which, by the way, does have its limitations. I feel like people often make the mistake that just because there's a lot that you can say, that you just get away with whatever you want. You could say whatever comes to mind, but that's not true. There are very real limitations to what you can and cannot say. As far as, you know, what's prosecutable, and there are plenty of things where you might not be breaking the law, but you might be opening yourself up to a lawsuit, or you might actually be breaking the law, right? Inciting any kind of violence, you know, yelling fire in a crowded theater, right? These are very specific cases where it doesn't matter what amendment, you're in trouble. So, like, I don't know, man. I don't see any. That doesn't seem to me like the worst thing in the world. Logic in debate is no longer effective. Emotions win debates now, among other things. Wow. Yeah. Unfortunate. You know, alternatively though, I don't understand the Elon Sims. Like, I get it, right? You like that he's a troll, you like that he likes memes, but at the end of the day, he's still a billionaire elitist, same as anybody else. You might like him more, but in many ways, he's not all that dissimilar from a Jeff Bezos or anyone else. Just because he's got a better sense of humor and he likes to meme, doesn't change the inherent classism there. So no, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over what the hell happens on Twitter. But I'm also not going to, I'm not gonna simp for some billionaire either. I think a lot of what he does is great. I think at least a lot of his goals sound great. Starlink, Tesla, a lot of the infrastructure stuff that apparently he's working on, SpaceX, right? But no, I'm not some billionaire's fanboy. Elon had to get bailed out. Well, yeah, no. Well, Tesla, I think it's largely known that Tesla survives on government subsidies. I think Elon Musk, while he's a bit quirky, has good intentions for humanity. as long as humanity has the same interests as his wallet. You know, I think it's largely known that Tesla and God knows how many other of Musk's corporations are, yeah, they survive on government subsidies. But then so does so many other fucking things. Banks, farmers, in '08, automotive companies. Yeah, our government props up a lot of a lot of people and things. Elon isn't as smart as people give him credit for. He's no Tony Stark. He got lucky with PayPal, and that's where he got his money. He is smart, though. I mean, he's not the second coming, but he's a smart man. Do you think he's a genius? I wonder. He is no Tesla. He's an Edison. The Mark Cuban situation. Sell tech company, a bigger company, the more it's worth. As I said about Amaranth, she wouldn't be a millionaire if she was stupid. Right. Right, so he might not be some super genius, but he's no dummy. He's not a fool. You know, so he might not be a genius in the way that, yes, a theoretical astrophysicist or a theoretical physicist or quantum physicist would be. But he's no dummy. Yeah, I don't understand the endless praise, and I don't understand the endless amounts of hate. Either. I think both looks are stupid. Does anyone know someone who's used Starlink? Is it any good? He's another good gamer if the game is the system. Him and Amaranth are making the right moves on paper, at least. It wouldn't surprise me if he has an IQ of 130 or more. The endless praise comes from people liking his trolly behavior, not from his inventions. It's because these fucking moon boys leap to defend anyone who talks about crypto, and it's etchy. Right. Right. Well, you know what it is? I think it's also the marketing, too. Tesla. I'd love to own a Tesla. To be honest, those things look fun as hell. You know, but like, yeah, the idea of Starlink, too. Yeah, on paper, sounds awesome. But, you know, even the accomplishments at SpaceX, as well as some of the infrastructure stuff that he's sought after and has championed. It always sounds good. the sub that was supposed to rescue the kids at the cave, which didn't work. I'd love to own a Tesla, but I'm not. But I'm not got. I'd love to own a Tesla, but I'm not got jerk Elon because of it. Tesla has dropped in quality. He talks out of his ass. Starlink has tripled in price since he rolled it out. Money and success, if more about luck than actual smarts. So you think he just got lucky? I feel like that's a cop-out. Also, allegedly, he hasn't done anything to punish the managers that quite literally segregate his factories. Are you saying that there's racial segregation in his factories? Allegedly, but the state of California sued him over it, so there must be some evidence. Did they win? It's California Melee. I don't know, I think it's still in the process. Well, I don't know anything about that. It was filed in February. Now, is it against Musk or Tesla? How much are Teslas going for these days? Tesla, the company, with Elon as CEO. $60K. Fuck, man. The quality on Tesla went way down. Their paint is shit. Might be worse than the Honda paint. The Hyundai Iconic is the new hot EV right now. Better? Is it cooler than Tesla though? With all the automated features and all that? because any video I've seen of people driving around their Teslas, it looks awesome. It looks like you're in the damn future. There is no base model. The base model is supposed to be $35K, but they never sold them 30. All of them end up being 45 to 50 at the least. Sure. Coworker bought a Tesla and has no heat because of bad software. How much did he spend on it? And does he like it besides that? When Ford finally drops the F-150 Lightning, I'll say that EV car market has legs. He spent $45K. He seemed to like it, but he had no heat for a month during the winter. Oof. Where do you charge those things? The Model 3 Long Range Edition is the next Model T. Model 3 Long Range. How long? Like, how far can you go in that thing? They have a supercharger network nationwide, 300 miles full charge. A simple fender bender would be $20K to fix. And yet, people still want them, Yoji. What makes a Tesla so much more desirable than other electric vehicles? To me, I assume it's just because it looks cooler. It's expensive now because it's something new. When it brings the price down, it will do for the market what the Model T did. So I see. So Tesla, so Musk is like a Ford. And once it becomes widely popularized, it'll be more affordable. And then everyone will be driving a Tesla. And no one will be cool. Very much like an iPhone. Four-day work week, and working from home would do more for the environment than electric vehicles. I mean, maybe if we're measuring our sense of coolness from the car you drive, we're barking up the wrong tree. It's going to be like the normal car, very shit at first, and then rapidly becomes less shit until everyone has one. There's still environmental costs in coal, electricity, along with the toxic batteries that don't get recycled. People always measure cool by the car. The car, the money, the women. Humans are nothing more than primates showing off. Tell me, Yoji. Wait, so Yoji, if you were gonna get an electric car, you would get a... You said you get a Honda instead? The Honda Iconic or the Kia version of it. Yeah, but Yoji, are they anywhere near as sexy as a Tesla? Because Teslas look sexy as hell, man. I've seen so many of those things either parked on the street or driving on the highway, and they look incredible. You go when you see a Tesla on the road. You go, hot damn. Do you go hot damn when you see a Kia? Though? I don't know. I don't think you do. Teslas are crap in quality. I know. Listen, it should matter. Not to mention that our power grid sucks, and adding more to it, which is great. My only defense for their crap quality is that they're too innovative for how much they're being sold at. I don't know, I feel like if you have the money for a Tesla and you're buying a Tesla instead of buying something else, you're doing it because it looks cool and it sounds cool. You're doing it for the name. You're doing it for that. Because they're, like Yoji said, there's better quality cars. There are cars that will last longer, that will probably end up being more efficient in the long run. But yeah, if you're picking up a Tesla, it's not because you're looking for efficiency, I don't think. I'm assuming you're getting it because it looks cool as fuck. And you want to tell people that you own a Tesla. And you want people to be like, damn, you got a Tesla? You know, be like, yeah, I was on a waiting list and yada, yada, yada. I said, hot damn. Also, I did see a McLaren out the window at the bus home today. I don't see that often because Michigan and cars are a bad investment here. I said, hot damn, sexy car. No, they're trying to crank out as many cars as possible, so the quality took a massive hit. They were putting them together in the parking lot. It was cool until everyone got the Model 3. It's common enough now where it doesn't get as many stares. Well, let's ask. Guys, when you see a Tesla outside, do you think, oh, is that a Tesla? Do you give any do you take a pause? Because I gotta say, I take a pause usually like, oh my, would you look at that? And then I imagine you get it, and then you complain about it, right? You should be like, oh man, this sucks. What do you think of the Cybertruck? Oh, I think the Cybertruck is one of the funniest looking fucking things I've ever laid eyes on. But I think it's one of those things where it's so bad it's good. Like, that thing is so preposterously ridiculous looking. like no car designer would ever do that. And because that's how it looks, that's why I like it. Like, to me it looks awful. I don't know cars very well, but when I see a cool car, I might say, "Oh, that's cool." Well, thank you, Kali. My neighbor across the street has a Model 3 and do several people at work. Ooh, fancy schmancy. Homer Simpson designed it. But it does look kind of sick if you're Batman. If you aren't Batman, for sure. You need to look at the Cybertruck as a work of art more than a functional vehicle, although it's being marketed as one. Yeah, I'm just...
I will sub like next
Hey,
week.
Whiteboard is
Next
tier
week,
1
White.
sub,
Can you
22
keep
months.
order
Thank you.
for $4.99 today?
Thank you, baby cakes. And yes, it does look like Batman would drive it. Cybertruck is a rock target. Rock target. You talking about Dwayne the Rock Johnson? Oh, I mean steel ball. Oh, are you talking about because Elon Musk is like, oh, the windows are bulletproof, and then he just like punched the hole through the window. I love Corvettes. What's up, Shannon? Hello, YouTube friends. Welcome or welcome back. I am in the inking stage of this drawing that I'd pieced together mere moments ago. I think it's funnier that they tried twice. Did they try it twice? Did they try it on a different side of the window and it fucking just did it again? I wish solar home batteries were cheaper. That's what they need to work on. I like I said, man, I like the concept of SpaceX. I like the concept of Tesla. I like the concept of Starlink, the home batteries, the, you know, like there's the things that are marketed, you know, they sound great. Like I said earlier, the infrastructure stuff that he's proposed. It all sounds good. But, you know, plenty of things sound good. I live in Fort... Oh, okay. Oh, Shannon. No, I missed your comment. What'd that Shannon say? Shannon said, I love Corvettes. Shannon said, hi. Oh. Did you see... I live in Fort Worth, Texas. I don't see Teslas. Maybe in Dallas, not Fort Worth. I see that because I live in New York City, but I'm also in a borough, so they're common, but not that common. They're still uncommon enough for me to take note of them when they drive by, because I have found that Tesla's always... The quality might look... Under the hood, it might be complete shit. But when they drive past, all smooth and quiet, and they look sleek as hell, man. You know? When a Tesla drives by, it really stands out as something just better looking than other cars driving around. And I imagine when you see the fucking Cybertruck driving around, that thing is gonna look like you're in a fucking video game, man. Like, that's gonna look like seeing a Cybertruck. Could you imagine you're just driving on the highway, you're going somewhere, you're on the road, and then you see a Cybertruck drive past you, that fucking, like, this giant fucking crumpled aluminum foil looking thing on 4 wheels just hovering past. The car itself is amazingly designed. The production system they have in place right now is not cost effective for the average consumer. Right. And then, yeah, a lot of it, of course, is hype, right? People like to buy into the hype of it. I mean, even me, even yours truly. Well, I'm going to tune in early tonight. You going to bed? Are you going to make Melee? Are you going to make some dancing TikTok videos before you go to sleep? Missed you too, Melee. Glad you're doing okay. Nah, I might scroll through TikTok though. Dude, Melee, man. I was just talking to everybody about TikTok earlier. How I like mostly like animal videos and meme videos, and then I get these TikTok live videos pop up, and it's like hardcore thirst trap TikTok live videos. And a couple times, man, I've got videos in the middle of the day where it seems like the thirst trap ladies that are streaming, it seems like they're in school, and it seems like they're not in college, and it might just be the filters and all that. But my goodness, man, I'm like, yo, this seems illicit. This does not seem kosher to yours truly. I see some lockers back there, and they don't look like university lockers. But what do I know? I was showing everybody what I like on TikTok to prove that I literally just like memes. I'm not liking thirst trap videos, so I don't know what TikTok is. I don't know what TikTok's trying to like rope me in. TikTok's like, how about a little, we know we just saw you like a bunch of videos about tortoises, but what about a thirst trap live stream? What do you have to say about Svetlana here, who's doing her yoga in yoga pants, no underwear? How do you feel about that? TikTok does have a problem with younger people who shouldn't be on there doing things. I know. Yoju, the most disconcerting thing was, besides them being on there in the first place, it was the comments, man. The comments were most definitely what looked like to me adults commenting pretty goddamn salacious things in the chat. Like stuff where it's like, oh man, I think man, stuff that would put you on Dateline. You know, stuff that would have Chris Hansen come knocking at your door asking, what are you doing there? Personally, I don't like TikTok. I don't like the idea of promoting the thirst trap culture to kids. Well, I mean, that's every social media platform. That's Twitch, that's YouTube, that's Instagram, that's Twitter. You can't, thirst traps are going to thirst trap. And the algorithm is going to promote what people like. And God forbid you're a youngin'. If you're a youngin' and you get on the platform without any supervision, the algorithm's going to serve it up to you the same way it served it up to anybody else. Because let's not forget, kids are fucking liars. So they're not going to be like, so when the website is like, hey, are you of age? They're going to be like, I sure am. Show me that content. Oh, I am 100% of age. Definitely, super definitely. Yeah, no, it's definitely up to the parents to monitor that stuff. But a point I brought up earlier is that, parents can only do so much once the kid is like a near adult. Speaking as a human being who at one point in time in his life was in fact a teenager, you could be unruly, ungovernable. Yeah, because once you leave that house, there's only so much control. The kid goes to school and sees it all anyways. Yeah, well, the point I brought up was that maybe earlier, like maybe you are a parent that is like really on the ball, which by the way, I mean, that'd be a miracle. But let's say you are really on the shit, right? So like you've got, blocking software, you're constantly monitoring what what your teenager is up to on there. You know, they've got social media, but you know, like you really are making sure everything's on the up and up and nothing crazy is going on. You know, they're not talking to any internet strangers, yada yada yada. Even if that is the case, you're not watching everybody else, right? And I could speak from experience. My parents were pretty responsible in regards to what I was up to. They tried to keep me on a short leash as best they could. Didn't really work out because I had a penchant for troublemaking, but there were kids who were much worse than me who came from households, you know, that ran rampant with neglect, divorce, absentee parents, siblings who like poisoned the flock. I remember a couple of my friends had some real asshole older brothers who like would expose us to shit that we shouldn't have when we were kids. So you know, you can't really account for that kind of stuff. Like you can, but you can't stop it. Even if you're if you're like a excellent parent who's on the ball, but your kid made friends with another teenager whose parents have completely dropped the ball, don't give two fucks, or wildly neglectful, or, you know, apathetic, or whatever it might be, permissive as hell. Because, again, like I said, I was in high school. There were definitely the quote-unquote cool parents, the cool moms who, you know, it's like, you know, you hear, you know, if you're gonna drink and do drugs, you might as well do it in my house. That kind of stuff. So yeah, man. Wild times, man. The quote-unquote cool mans. Yeah, exactly. Wild. My mom was very fucking not at all a cool mom. She was a embarrass you in public, scream at you for fucking up mom. Sweet though, you know, sweet as hell, but very smothering. Anyway, those, you know, my folks did their damnedest to keep me out of trouble, and I found trouble. I sought it out my own way. So yeah. But that was then, man. That was way back in the early, you know, aughts. I can't imagine what, you know, now, you know, 20 years after the fact, what kids are doing now. Man, I can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine what it would be like, you know, your entire adult life having been exposed to some form of social media. It just being ubiquitous everywhere. Everyone are, man. I feel like it would suck to grow up today, and that's horrible to say because I look forward to having kids in the future. Well, I think it's always been tough for the youngins. But I think the tough changes. So the stuff you deal with, it's just a different battle. So the battle lines have changed, but I think as long as you have someone to guide you, right? Some, you know, as long as you feel safe and loved, and not alone, I think you could do okay. But who knows, right? Because listen, man, growing up, I was bullied. I'm sure my parents were bullied. You know, everybody's got their own struggles, you know? And I think the struggles have just changed some since you were young and since I was young. It takes a different set of tools to navigate them. But yeah, man. In regards to that, I would know the first thing. Hell, I could barely navigate this as an adult. That is one funny thing about being an adult. You know, as a kid, all these, you know, my entire childhood, looking at these adults, you think, man, they just know, they know exactly what to do at all times. That's what adults, an adult person, psh, fearless. They know what to do in every situation. And then you realize there's no goddamn manual. There's no instruction book. You just gotta kind of do your best. Try not to fuck it up. You know what? I had her in jeans. I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna remove the jeans. I'm gonna put her in a skirt. Hey, has anybody been watching the Moon Knight TV show? I watched the episode 3 of Moon Knight last night. Enjoyed it very much. I will say, of the 3 episodes, I think it was the one I didn't like it as much. And I think it's not that there was anything wrong with it at all. I think it was a little bit slower in parts. And I think it spent more time building the world out. Yeah, I think there was more time spent introducing us to some of the mythology and some other things going on within the story. I started to, but it's not for me. In my opinion, I think Moon Knight is, so far, first 3 episodes, it's Marvel's strongest show. Marvel Disney Plus's one. But I gotta see how it ends. But compared to the first 3 episodes, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, first 3 episodes of Loki were pretty damn good. First, I think Hawkeye was fun, but I think inevitably forgettable. I really enjoyed the addition of Kate Bishop into the franchise. I think she's a delightful addition, and I like that. I think they handled her introduction very well. But again, it's not a series I'm going to be. The only series that I would be inclined to watch again is Loki. Loki, I think, had some pretty goddamn amazing, everything. Loki looked like it was ripped right out of the comic books, right off the screen. Hey Scoob, may I ask what you didn't like about it? Well, the other thing is, Moon Knight has more to do than some of the other TV shows. So Loki, we already know the character, we're invested. Wanda, again, we know these characters, we are invested. We watched Vision die. We watched Loki die. We watched Wanda just be completely distraught, heartbroken. So like they're already starting off way ahead of the curve. Falcon and Winter Soldier, we watched Captain America decide to retire and kind of hoist this, impossible symbol on the shoulders of Anthony Mackie's character of Sam Wilson, perhaps before he was ready. And even Hawkeye, we're very familiar with Jeremy Renner's character and his family and a lot of their dynamics and his work as a secret agent, yada yada yada. We see them touch on the Natasha Romanoff stuff and her being his best friend. So there's a lot, in these other shows, we were already on board. When it comes to Moon Knight, the writers have much more heavy lifting to do. They not only have to introduce us to a new side of the world, a brand new cast of characters you've never heard of. You've got a lot more to do. I was actually talking about the Moon Knight plot with a friend of mine last night. A few of us were chatting about it. And then I thought to myself, can I give Moon Knight a tagline to somebody who's never seen Moon Knight, doesn't know what it's about, and was like, what is Moon Knight about? Like, can I give like a 2-sentence just summary so you know what you're getting into? And I pieced it together and I thought, okay, Mark Spector is the avatar of the god Khonshu. He is set to stop a rival avatar of a different god before all hell breaks loose. However, he has to do this while dealing with an incredibly debilitating mental illness called dissociative identity disorder. I'm like, and that's the pitch. Like that's the tagline. That's the elevator pitch. That's the goal in a nutshell. That's the crux of the show. Along with your little twist. And I think the show is delivered thus far. It's not a perfect show. Like I said, I think yesterday's episode a little bit slower, not completely slow, like it wasn't boring, but they did seem to be they were putting down some definite foundation for future episodes to come. But that happens with all TV shows. You got some, it can't just be, no show is ever going to be boom, 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 action, action, action. Climax, you got to have some lulls, take a breather, etc., etc. Let's see how this is looking. All right, not too shabby. It is funny though, and I have noticed this in both the Eternals movie and now this TV show. Minor baby spoiler for the show, like a little, like not a big one. But this show introduces gods, right? I mean, again, Moon Knight is the avatar of the Egyptian god Khonshu. That's not a surprise to anyone. But with these gods not living, but existing in Earth's mythos and just in Earth's cosmos, you got to think to yourself, where the fuck have you been? Right? Like, while Thanos is doing his thing, while all this other stuff was happening, while other gods were interacting, what the hell were you doing? And the answer that the Eternals gave was the same exact answer that the Egyptian gods gave, which is like, we've decided to remove ourselves from all earthly human development. And I'm like, oh fuck, you kind of have to do that, because otherwise where the hell were you when all hell was breaking loose in all these other movies? So that was kind of funny. I mean, a minor nitpick, but I understand why they have to do that. Eventually, when I'm assuming something else, they're going to take a similar stance once the X-Men show up or mutants start to show up. They're going to have to take a similar approach where it's like, well, we've always been here, but blah 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 blah. I did watch No Way Home this week and I liked it, although I thought it was too long. They probably could have cut a half hour of that movie from what I remember. Okay, man, I'll be honest, I'm feeling like extra tired tonight, guys. So I think I'm gonna hang my hat up a little earlier than I normally would. So I'm gonna cut it short tonight. I'm just like, yeah, man, I need to get something to eat, and I think I just need to sit down and rest. I'm just feeling fatigued as hell. So with that said, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching me draw this. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to finish this up this evening, hopefully. And then I will be on my merry way. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Yoji. Thank you, Scooby. Thank you, Skippy. Thank you, my YouTube friends. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Until next time.